So they said, create the content because somebody out there need it. So today, just kind of get ready with me as a more mature college student, mom, entrepreneur, creative. What is we on now? Renaissance queening, but we minding our own business and starting our own businesses. Of course, always trying to educate ourselves even more. So, it's Monday, and I had to go to a play yesterday. My best friend was in the play for Color Girls, and my sister is a musical fanatic. So little do they know, I was able to kill two birds with one stone. I took my sister for her birthday, but I also supported my best friend. So boom boom, killed them two little birds with one stone. But yesterday, because my nieces, great nieces and nephew was baptized. So before the play, I had to go to church, and then after church, I had to drop the little one off with her dad, and then we had to race and get to the play. So I didn't have Nicole any flowers, and I like to be the one. My daughter had a play a few weeks ago, and we all, had a gift for her, flowers and roses and things like that. It's important, I think, also as a degreed thespian, because I do have a degree in acting as well. Maybe I was born at. But anyway, so I gotta get ready for. I didn't study. So although I don't have anatomy and physiology class today, I need to go to the lab and do some studying. Actually physically touching the mannequins and stuff. While I was sitting in the play, very uncomfortable, like my cycle started, right? But my daughter had texted me and said hers started. So we are linked up. It's like human nature. Y'all hear my scapula, my clavicle? I think it was my clavicle that pops. This is the clavicle right here. You call it the shoulder bone, I think is what y'all said. But anyway, so I gotta get ready to go to the lab. But before the lab, I need to go to pick up some grocery items and some cleaning supplies. But did you hear me say my cycle started, right? And as somebody with endometriosis, every day I'm learning there's something new about this shit that I didn't know before. But it's also because of the type of patient I am. Like, I've never been the type of patient, if you tell me I got something, I just would go along with it, because I understand that doctors are people too, and they're learning just the way I'm back in school learning. I'm learning, how complicated the body is, but I'm also learning no two bodies are alike. So I educate my doctors. I'm gonna educate my doctors, because you my doctor, and so I need to know how much you know about my condition. And if you don't know, then let me help you out, so I can tell you, and you can get to know what I know about my body. Because you see hundreds of patients, and it's just one me. So I spend more time with me, so I got to tell you about me. And so it was important for me to know everything about my condition, even some of the things that the doctors don't know. Like, I educate my doctor all the time. I feel like my endometriosis has moved up into my diaphragm. And right now that my cycle is on, my ribs hurts. And so endometriosis can grow anywhere, including the brain. My doctor didn't know that, but when I told her, she didn't believe it, but she sat in front of me and Googled it. And she was like, oh, you're right. And I was like, yeah, I know I'm right. So I was thinking to myself, last year I went through a situation with my heart, and I had every test known to man. I had an MRI, I had a CAT scan, I had x-rays, I had ultrasounds of the heart. I had to wear a heart monitor. So what did I do? I learned more about the heart. So I'm like, who but me can be a fucking professional patient? Like, I'm not the type of patient where you can just tell me anything and I believe it. And that comes from knowing that I had endometriosis. I knew something was different with my cycle when I first started it. And my mom knew. Like the first couple of days of my cycle, the first day especially, I would miss school. I would be on the bathroom floor. And I don't know about anybody else, but being from the South and black, you know, they just tell us, well, it's just a bad period. It's a hard period. And then it wasn't enough knowledge about it. I wasn't even diagnosed with endometriosis until after I had my first surgery in 2003 when my oldest daughter was a baby. So it was like the endometriosis, I didn't have any problems with endometriosis during my pregnancy. It was no issues. And I think that due to the body having to focus on growing another body, and let me say this, I am so blessed to be able to have had those kids, because there's a lot of women that endometriosis affects them so much that they become infertile. And so, and also the fact that a lot of doctors will convince you or try to convince you that a hysterectomy will cure endometriosis, and there is no cure for endometriosis at all. There's no cure. Hysterectomy, medication, none of that shit is the cure. And part of the reason why it's not is probably because there hasn't been enough research on it. So that's the reason why I decided to go back to school. I want to learn how to do the test and exam, because they say that you cannot, the only way that you can diagnose endometriosis is by going in. So that's already an operation, but there's taking years and years and years for women to get the operation approved. So a lot of women haven't been diagnosed. It takes like the average 13 years to be diagnosed. Now, if you think about it, from the time that I started 11 until I was 20. So it took 9 years for mine to be. And this was years ago, in 2003, like I said. But for me, I have been able to recognize the signs in other women so much so. I meant to use the picture from a friend of mine asking me in my research, what have I found? So I want to do the ultrasounds, and I want to do the MRIs and the CAT scans and the things to try to help get this diagnosed without having to have the major surgery first. But in this process, mind you, I'm going to school. I'm still female, so I'm still having cycles. This is me on my cycle. There's no bloating, there's no padding, but due to the fact that restriction, like, you know, so I don't know if you know anybody with endometriosis, but or a woman with a cycle, you don't want anything tight on your stomach, but yet and still I can't go out the house and go to the lab and look like a student or look intelligent enough that I could just go out in the sweats that I really want to go out in. So I have to put on a facade as being okay. Not to mention, I still have kids that I'm responsible for too. So I need to go to the grocery store, go to the lab, study, cook, do homework, car rider line pickups, and I'm not complaining again. You will never hear me complaining about something that I asked for, because I wanted this and I asked for this and I asked for them kids and I wanted them, and so I know I'm responsible for them. But I really do believe that the education system is so fucked up, and the medical system is even worse. And I think maybe I need to leave America and go do an education and go do some things outside. I don't know what, like, this anatomy shit got me so fucked up. I don't know when I'm coming or when I'm going. But one thing I know is I'm gonna never ever give up. I'm gonna never stop. It won't happen.